Hi guys, this is Zangiefsgym here. Here to do a video today on how to fight Menat as Zangief. And as you guys are well aware of, I'm sure, Menat is a newer character. She's only been out, I think, for maybe going on 2 weeks now, something like that. I just recently got her, so I just wanted to do a video because I had a request on one of my videos where I was fighting her in a casual match. You know who you are, but you know, someone requested that I would do a battle. You know, I would explain how does Zangief battle against Menat. How does it, you know, what can he really do against her? So I'm just gonna give you some general tips and suggestions, and hopefully they'll help you guys. And when you have to fight Menat as Zangief, how are you gonna handle that? And what are some suggestions you could take with you? Okay, so first, Zangief, being a king of grapplers, he always wants to hone in on his opponent. He always wants to draw near and get close as he can to start inflicting serious damage. That's not going to change when you're fighting Menat any more than it would change if you were fighting, say, Ryu or Dalsim or Cammy. It's going to be the same strategy. It's just a matter of how that person fights, like how that opponent, you know, plays out. So for example, Menat is a little more defensive as opposed to, you know, like Ryu or Ken, where they may be more aggressive. They have a bunch of utilities at their dispense, so they can keep you, they could be close to you and still be inflicting a lot of damage and still be pretty safe while doing it. Menat is more defensive, so when you're fighting her, she's going to try to keep you away. She's going to annoy Zangief as much as she can. So your goal is to get in, ignore all that, and just get in as quickly as possible so you can begin to do grapples, slams, and just do heavy damage. That's going to be your goal. But Menat's not going to make this easy for you. So first thing I would recommend, a couple things. One is get used to using the Iron Muscle V skill, Iron Muscle. That flex is gonna buy you, that allows you to get hit twice, and then it also allows you to release and give a quick stun. So when I release that, it stuns her for a second. And when I do that, I can lock it into a SPD light punch. SPD will give you the best range. So you know, the focus isn't SPD, of course. The focus is to just get in on her so you can start doing some damage, because you're not going to do any damage if you're standing out here, and if she keeps hitting you with the orb, you're not going to be able to do much to her. So a couple ways. First, how do you get in? A couple things you want to do. The lariat is always going to be a good option, especially when you're out here and she's throwing the orb at you. So the lariat is going to be good to keep in your arsenal. The Iron Muscle Flex is also going to be good, but that's going to be a little, especially as you're moving in, that's going to be really good, because if you're about this range and you Iron Muscle through her orb, you can come a little closer, release it, and that's going to allow you to get in a little bit, and hopefully get some of that damage back through Gray Life healing. But if you get hit, well, keep in mind, if you do get hit after that, you will lose that Gray Life. It's not gonna be able to heal if you get hit. So, but that's okay. It helps you to get in. Anything to help you to get in, because with Zangief, you're gonna get hurt just trying to get in on her. You just have to accept that, because, well, he's a big character. He's not, you know, he's not gonna, you know, go through that orb without likely taking some damage, unless you happen to get lucky. She throws it low, and you jump in and you're able to just get right in there on her. But chances are you're probably gonna hit a couple of times making your way in. But that's okay. Zangief has a lot of health, so he can take that damage. And as long as you accomplish your goal, which is to get on top of her and be able to start nailing on her, then you're good, because Zangief can do tons of damage, right? I mean, we can rip her life down in no time. It's just a matter of actually getting in on her. That's what's difficult. So one is the lariat's a good option to kind of work your way in, because you can still move while you're doing it, right? So that's one possibility. Another possibility is Iron Muscle your way through, as you're flexing, flex, and then maybe as the orb is going through you and you release, you can dash in really quickly. Dashing is going to be important in this fight. especially if you want to gain some ground without always having to jump, because Zangief has one of the worst jumps in the game. Okay, so the jumping there is not the best option. But if you see an opening, go for it. You see an opening, go for it. I'm not telling you to never jump. I'm just saying you leave yourself open when you do that, especially against a character as fast as Menat is. Once you come in, she's going to be really ready to kick you and stuff. So just be aware of that, okay? So Menat's strategy is keep you about this range or so. She wants to keep you away from her. She's got a lot of ways to do that. She has that orb that she can throw on all three planes of motion. She can throw it low towards your ankles, high to catch you when you jump, or on the neutral plane just to keep you kind of back and under control, under her control, namely, so that you can't deal with it. So the dash in, the iron muscle flex is going to help, and the lariat is going to help as well. And watch for opportunities to jump. Okay, that's kind of the basics on getting in. Okay, so she's very much beatable though. She's not impossible, but you know. She's defensive. She's kind of like Dhalsim. Dhalsim's defensive, you know. It's hard to get in on Dhalsim. He's got a lot of ways to keep you at range. He's got a lot of ways to manipulate you, and with his teleport it makes it difficult. But back to Menat specifically, she doesn't have a teleport, but she has a lot of sneaky ways to kind of keep you where she wants you. So just be aware that orb can go out and the orb can come back in, but when the orb hits you, it's going to kind of pull you in. In fact, I have some of that set up here. Okay, actually that's the low one. Number two I've got set up. She will do that. She'll throw the orb out. Watch what happens. She's gonna pull me in when she does that attack. So after 3 times of doing it, she's got me right next to her. Okay, do you see how that pulls you in? Well, she's not gonna pull you in and just let you go, right? Because this is kind of fake. I've got her, like, if you just do that one recording, she's just gonna do that one move. But when she pulls me in at this range, she's gonna start kicking and hitting and doing combos. And then what will happen is when she's done doing her combo, I'm gonna fall to the ground probably somewhere out here. Then she's got me where she wants me. She can start doing the orb again. So it gets very difficult for Zangief. So just be aware, like, the orb pulls you in. Don't be suckered into that. Like be prepared. There might be times where you're getting pulled in a lot and you can't deal with it. So it might be best to kind of backdash, or that might be a good time to lariat as well. Because if she's pulling you in, you can lariat. If you're at a good range, it'll hit her. You know, she may block that too, but sometimes that's okay if that gets you out of harm's way. That might be the good option. So it's just going to be a little situational. The lariat's not always the best option, and the flex is not always the best option. It's as with anything, guys. It's always going to be situational. That's some of my thoughts. So, lastly, I guess I would just do. I would say practice against fighting her. Bring her in the training mode and just put her on AI difficulty, like level, I don't know, I would say 7 or 8 would put some really good pressure on you. And in practice, fighting her, okay? And then another option would be to actually set specific recordings where you set her doing specific attacks, and then like you could go into playback settings and turn them all on. So I can just do that as an example. You guys can kind of see she's got a lot of I've recorded a lot of different attacks at different angles. She's got different stuff here, so you know they kind of give you a little bit of a feel, a little more realistic. You know, you can kind of figure out how to deal with some of this stuff. But the orbs, if you just for the most part ignore them and just get in, you're gonna find that you can do okay. But as always with the recording, the only thing with the recordings is they're good to teach you with how to work on specific things, but they're not necessarily realistic, because when you go to fight the actual opponent, you find out that, hey, I'm not as good at countering her as I initially thought I was, and that's because you're in a controlled environment. So get out of that controlled environment. Put her on 7 or 8 and just do some actual practicing against her here in the training mode. That's not a bad way to do it. So I've got her in difficulty 8. So this is gonna be, she's gonna give me a really good fight here. Okay, so I gotta see how to best address this, but it's just gonna be dependent upon what she does. She blocked my grapple there. The jabs are gonna be. I love the knee hammer personally on getting in, because I can lead into a lot of SPDs with that. Not possible. I think she's just kind of giving me that, ignoring me basically. She's already got me stuck. So yeah, so that's not going really well. I'm not really good at fighting her at level 8, to be honest with you guys. That's not good. That's not good. So this takes a lot of practice to get kind of good at fighting her, but I would take her in here and just work on this, because this is the only way you're gonna be able to deal with her. Okay, so far I haven't been successful. I take back my not jumping thing, because that might be good at times to jump in on her. Just depends on what she's doing. If you can land something, that's nice. But that strong jab is going to be good too, guys. The strong jab is going to help you to get in on, help you to kind of get in. But crouching jabs are always good. The knee hammers, I love the knee hammers, because again, if you're able to, I can't talk and play at the same time. I'm not very good at that. Sorry, because I know that's hard to saying one thing and I'm not really actually doing it. She's killing me. Okay. I'm just not very good at talking and actually doing it at the same time. But if you get her in, if you practice in here, that's going to give you a strong feel for what Menat is capable of. But then I would say if you can, you know, I don't know, you could get yourself into the battle lounge, and you could request that Menat would join you in the battle lounge. You could do battles against Menat. You could run casuals as well, and that's not going to affect your score. It's not going to affect your league point rating or anything, your league points, or your actual ranking. That's not going to get affected in casuals. And you could hopefully find some Menats in there. You know, I don't fight her all the time. I'd say maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 5, 1 in 10, something like that. So there's definitely some out there. But if you do a battle lounge and request Menat only, please, or something like that, if you actually put that in the in your preferences when you create a battle lounge, hopefully someone with Menat will actually join, and you can actually fight other Menat players. But you can make some friends. You could certainly make some friends through the battle lounge. I've done that, and then you could duel them and challenge them. So, you know, ask your friends if you know someone's good at Menat, and see if they can challenge you with Menat. So you can practice with Zangief against fighting Menat. But until if you can't find anyone right away, this is a good way to get started. Just take Menat in here and practice AI. You might want to start like level 6 or something. So you can kind of get some practice, because it's hard at like level 8. You know, I can do it, but it's really tough though. I'm really pushing myself and concentrating, and I barely pull out the victory oftentimes. So just get a feel for what she's capable of. Hopefully that kind of helps you guys with some of the basics. I personally have not fought her a lot, so I don't have a lot of experience. Hopefully, you know, my rambling here hopefully is going to amount to something. But if there's any takeaways, I would just sum it up with these few tips. One, always remember Zangief's strategy is to get in and do devastating blows. Get in as close as you can and do the grapples. Of course, that's a #1 ambition. Your #1 strategy is to get close and do heavy damage. Second, a couple of ways to get in is to utilize your flex move, utilize the lariat, and utilize dashing. Those are some of the basics. Also, when you block, if you're blocking, I'm assuming you're blocking right now. When the orb hits you, if the orb is behind you and she pulls it in towards herself, if you're blocking away from Menat, it will still block the orb, even though the orb is technically coming from behind you. So just throwing that out there. I don't know if you know that, but now you do. Okay. And then thirdly, just practice facing Menat in here. Turn the dummy mode on like 7 or 8. Even though it's not as good as fighting a real player Menat who's actually good and skilled, obviously that would be ideal. Get a sparring buddy and try to do matches against them. But if that's not an option, then come here to the training mode and just put her on like difficulty level 7 or 8. That'll get some good pressure on you. You also could program certain moves. But the difficulty with practicing against different moves is that, you know, it doesn't always carry over. So just be aware of that. Like, you know, it can help you though to get a feel for it. So that's not a bad idea. Okay. But again, just get in on her, do some heavy blows, try to land SPD when the opportunity presents itself. But but just, you know, you really have to work on getting in. It's just gonna take work. You're probably gonna get hit a number of times just trying to get close to her. But that's playing Zangief. Zangief, you know, he's a grappler and he's the king of grapplers, so he can do it. But again, it's gonna be a lot of work. Whereas other characters, it might be easier to get in, but you have different challenges. So, you know, just be aware of that. She's a little more defensive. She's gonna try to keep you ranged. So take advantage of crouching jabs, which have really good range on them. Take advantage of that, and also take advantage of the heavy kick. Strong kick, strong punch. Strong kick, strong punch. Those can be good if you're at a range to try to work your way in there. Again, because she's gonna try to throw that orb. But if you're constantly trying to get that strong jab off, you're gonna draw her attention, especially if it's a human. I'm talking about humans at this point, not the AI. I'm talking about humans. If you kind of keep their focus on you, if you got the pressure on them, you know, they're not going to be able to throw the orb around too much because, well, you've got pressure on them. They got to pay attention to you. And throwing that orb does take some, you know, they have to actually do the special attack. Like Menat, it's like a quarter circle forward and a punch button. That's how she throws that orb in the first place. She can throw it through basic punches, but lots of times they're going to do that special attack because that's going to keep the orb out there behind Zangief, so then later they can retract it and hit Zangief from behind and rough him up a little bit. You distract him a little bit. So just be aware of that. But basically, you just want to keep pressure on Menat as much as possible. If you can get in, keep pressure on him. You know, keep him busy. They're not going to be able to you know, do as much with the orb when you're right on top of them like that. They're going to be forced to block you, and they're going to be forced to try to either grapple, and they're going to be forced to try to counter you. So that's something to be aware of. Like I said, again, guys, I apologize for this sort of weak guide to fighting Menat because I just don't have a lot of experience. I haven't fought her a lot. I probably fought her 10 times in casual matches. That's not a lot of experience. I fought Ryu over 100 times, so I don't have a lot to say about that. But that's gonna be my basics: is get in, use combos when you're able to. If you can manage to jump in, do the jump kick with a headbutt, with the ankle kick, with the lariat. So that's a 4-hit combo. It basically looks like this: jump, punch, kick, lariat. So what that actually is a strong jump in kick, strong punch, forward direction arrow to get the headbutt, okay? And then neutral light kick, and then lariat is just all 3 punch buttons together, okay? So this is what it looks like. Okay, that's a 4-hit combo. You guys see me do that one a lot. Actually, it comes out as 3. For some reason, that kick is not registering, so it goes in as like a 4-hit combo, I guess. But should be a 4-hit when I do it right. Probably just my timing. There we go. There we go. 4 hits, 298% damage, or 298 damage. Points of damage. So whenever you can get that combo, that's great. If you know, even if you're just walking up, you can get the rest of it. You can get those 3 hits when it's possible. You could iron muscle flex into it. That's a possibility. When she's stunned, don't just light kick her like I did. If she's stunned, go for the SPD You know, critical art if you have it, that's great. So that's kind of my final thoughts. But just gonna have to practice a lot against her, guys, if you want to be better against fighting her. But the training mode is perfect for that because you don't have to worry about leak points, you know, losing to her in ranked matches. I would try to find a friend or find somebody online that plays Menat and ask them to do duels with you. Invite them to, you know, make a friend with them. Go on the Capcom Fighters Network. Make them your friend. Invite them to be your friend. You know, if you're gracious and kind towards them, they'll hopefully treat you the same. They'll treat you likewise. And then you can create a battle lounge, and when they're available, you can invite them to your battle lounge. So you know, you've got a buddy. You know, your buddy Rick. You know whenever he's playing Menat. So you can invite him in to your channel, invite him into your battle lounge, and be like, hey, let's fight. Let's you know, I need a sparring partner. I wanna fight Menat. So that's probably it for my suggestions, guys. Going forward, I would just say practice, and the better you are with Zangief in general, the better you're gonna be fighting anybody. That's you know, in getting better with Zangief is the key is going to be always working on your reaction speed and working on your timing. Input is at the core of that. If your input is not very good, spend some time in a training mode working on landing the SPD, working on landing the running bear grab. If you have trouble with the input on those, it might be good to spend some time mastering your input. You know, I'm always working on that. I think that's really important. But sometimes I just work on that through fighting people. Fighting people just does something that you know, sitting here doesn't do. So that's gonna wrap it up. I could talk for hours, but that's gonna be it for now. Hopefully that I've given you enough suggestions to kind of start with to get you going. So hopefully I'll do more videos in the future on Menat, but that will get you guys started. But she is a good challenge. She's a good fight. I like fighting her, but I would say she's a defensive character. She's gonna try to keep you away from her, and your goal is to get in on her. So always remember that basic strategy is to get in, and you do whatever you can to get in there. Lariat, dash, iron muscle flex, running bear grab. Use these opportunities here. As opportunities present themselves, pick and choose the best options. Okay, you're not always going to know the best options, but the flex is always a good one because it gives you great health, which you might be able to heal if you don't get hit. And when you get in on her, the knee hammer into an SBD is always one of my favorites because if she doesn't block the knee hammer, you're guaranteed the SBD. This is you know, a good way to do it. So. Alright, I'm gonna be quiet and let you guys go back to your gaming. So best wishes, guys. Hope this helps you out. You guys subscribe. Feel free to comment if you want more videos like this. If you have more suggestions on specifics you would like me to talk about, I can definitely more than open to do that. So just speak your mind. Give me some good feedback. Hopefully this guys helps you guys when fighting Menat. So thank you for watching. Take care.